amazing human beings. Welcome to week 5. Hello, you amazing human beings. I am Lauren Frontiera, and I am the host and creator of the Grit and Glitter podcast, where I sit down with real female entrepreneurs every week for real, raw, soulful conversations about the hard parts of life and business. And you are here for week 6 of my video diary update, where I take you through the journey of taking my podcast from podcast to profitable. Okay, real life, I screwed up that intro so many times that my camera battery's dying right now. So here's to hoping that I can get through this without screwing this up a million more times. Bloopers at the end, by the way. Also, so much has changed in the past week. Everything has changed in the past 6 weeks. Everything. And I'm going to fill you in on that. But before we dive in, I want to say a quick thank you to today's video sponsor, my amazing friend Trina Little, and her latest course, YouTube Bootcamp. In this course, Trina walks you through launching a successful YouTube channel for your business in 6 weeks. And you get to do it alongside of an amazing group of other business owners who are also launching their YouTube channels for their businesses. If you'd like to learn more, check out the link below. Okay, now on to the update. Over the past month, I have spent a lot of time figuring out how I wanted to monetize the podcast. And that may sound crazy to you because you're like, Lauren, didn't you already have that figured out? You were doing small business sponsorships and you got paid back in week 4. So wasn't that all figured out? Yes and no. Not at all. So, when you're on this path and you're like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, actually, it's not at all. It's not at all what I'm supposed to be doing. But I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm just going to do this thing. That's where I was. And this process has been really hard in the best of ways because, and correct me if I'm wrong, if there's any of you out there, shout out to you, girl. But what I'm doing in the podcast space is completely different than anything anyone else is doing, at least from what I've found. And when I say that, I mean the way that I'm trying to monetize and my reason behind monetizing the podcast. Most podcasters, and from my experience, everyone that I've heard of, met, listened to, all podcasters within that group use a podcast as an additional marketing tool for their business. They're coaches or they're selling courses or products. And this is just a way for them to grow their reach and sell more of those things or sell more of themselves or whatever. But they have a different business model that's not just podcasting. And that's not the case for me. I don't plan on that changing either. My goal with my podcast is not to eventually sell courses or do coaching or sell products. I want to create and build a media company. And you may be wondering, Lauren, what is a media company? Great question. I'm figuring that out. But I know that the only way to monetize media is through creating a really cool platform for advertisers. And I also realized over the past week that I don't want to work with big business advertisers right now. I want to focus on you, the small business female entrepreneur. And so I gave myself the majority of last week to stop checking off the to-dos on my list and to slow down and to brainstorm. And then everything changed. If you watched week 4's video, I shared with you that I got paid. My first small business female entrepreneur paid me to do an advertisement on the podcast. And last Thursday, we had scheduled a call to brainstorm and chat about and plan out that advertisement. And in that call, instead of planning out her advertisement and what that would look and sound like, I instead told her that I was refunding her every dollar she had paid me. And I know you're probably like, WTF, Lauren? What are you talking about? That's kind of how I felt Wednesday night when I realized that I had to do this. I was like, WTF, this is the only money that I have made thus far. And I was already planning in my head, how I could spend this and invest this in the business or some of it. And here I am saying, this is not what I'm going to do. The advertisements that I have shared with you and sold you on, right, and told you this is what I'm going to do, I'm no longer going to do it. So I need to refund you this money. Oh, but I also have no idea what it is that I'm going to be doing. That's exactly what I did. Like I said, I'm refunding you because this is not what I'm going to be doing, but I don't know what I'm going to be doing. And I felt Like I had these two polarizing thoughts in my head. Like on one side, I was like, you're crazy. Like you are completely nutso. And then on the other side, I was like, this is so right. Like you've got to do this. Like stick to your guns, do what feels right, because the only way you're going to figure out what's next, Lauren, is by doing this and by refunding the money and saying, I don't know what's next, but this isn't it. And then everything changed. Within 5 hours, I had the idea, like the idea. And then by 9:30 that night, so another 5 hours later, I had found a web designer to help me make this a reality. I was questioning whether or not I was going to completely rebrand. And by the next night, so like less than 36 hours after this all started happening, I had a new design for everything. And like the idea was solidified in my head. And everything's changing. Not everything. The podcast is staying the same. Like all of the content that you're used to, like none of that is changing. You're still going to hear from real female entrepreneurs and business owners every single week about the real raw hard parts and the stories, like, you know, the guts of it, like the heart, like none of that's changing. But everything else is. And my heart's beating fast just telling you guys this. Because it's exciting. I've shared my new idea with several people over the weekend, and I continue to just feel more and more excited about this and more solidified in knowing that like this is the right move. So I tell you all this to say everything's changing in the best of ways, and I will be sharing everything with you, like revealing everything in less than 2 months. So you don't have to wait long to find out. And I am just now piecing this all together. I'm getting ready to go create like this massive sticky note wall to help myself try to organize all of my thoughts. And so I don't yet know how much I'm going to share with you along the way. Like I definitely will be giving you sneak peeks and sharing things with you behind the scenes about the process. But everything's changing. And in less than, 6 weeks of sitting down and doing these videos, if you would have told me I was doing this 6 weeks ago, I would have told you you were nutty. And here I am changing everything. So I hope that you'll stay along for the ride because it's about to get wild. Thanks again to my amazing friend Trina Little and her YouTube bootcamp for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to check out the link below for more deets on how you can get involved. And as always, thank you for watching these videos. Be sure to hit subscribe and make sure you head over and listen to the podcast too. If you are a woman chasing your dreams, a female entrepreneur, small business owner, if you're dreaming of doing those things, you don't want to miss out on these conversations. So link in the description below to listen to the podcast. And I will see you guys next week for week 7 and hopefully more updates about this crazy everything changing everything. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, join me as I figure it out. Hello, you amazing. Hello. What the hell? The host and creator of the Grit and Glitter podcast, where I sit down every week for mother trucker. Dear God, I'm gonna use the battery before I'm done. If you'd like to learn more and sign up, check out. If you'd like to what?